Right. Hello there, everybody. We are finally ready. Partly my fault, as I was not focused on getting people into the lobby at all. But yeah, it's not my job, really. It's Alfie's job. Anyway. I've put it on the standing screen straight away, because we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, hello and welcome everyone to GRS Season number 12. It's F2. It's around number 5 or 6. It's round 6. It's round 6. I thought it was round 5. And we're here in Singapore today, which is going to be wonderful. I love Singapore. I don't know if anyone else loves Singapore. But yeah, high downforce, lots of corners, no rest, just full lock-in, you know. Sometimes I find that tracks with less long straights means that I focus more. So, yeah, anyway. Let's have a quick look at the standings. Here we go here. Lennon, that's... Oh, I didn't update the standings. Oh no! Oh no! Except I did. I saved the image, but I didn't update. Look, give me a second here. Round 4. No, we're not on round 4. We're on round 5. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. It's not censored, but who cares? What else? We need this one. Constructors, round 5. There we go. So, Lloyd now leads the championship by 4 points. Lennon is in F1 now, so will not be scoring anymore. Harry Spanswick is third on 52, followed by Zan, Arno, and many other drivers. Let's center this perfectly. It's too tall. Woo! Can I move it around? Yeah. Very cool. Anyway, and then Aston Martin lead the constructors. No surprises there. They've been very good this season. Lloyd, Arno, and some reserve drivers picking up points as well for them. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go to the action. We don't need to see this. So we are ready for some cars to force some cars to come out the pits. Speak clearly, please. What's going on here? Connor wants to restart. Rain. Apparently there is rain. That's good. I love rain. Anyway, Harry Spanswick is the first driver out of the pits today. He's currently in turn 8, or now 9 even. But yeah, Singapore, very long track, so we could be here for a long time today. The average lap time, or sorry, the average speed is very low, so your races take a bit longer. 31 laps around here to do. And around the 19 corners. Used to be, of course, 20-something corners, but they took some out a few years ago, which gives us another overtaking opportunity, but removes some tricky corners that I quite enjoyed personally, but oh well. Let's see what Harry can do, as he is going to be the first one to go for a lap. He's coming up to the final corner now. Let's get rid of... We'll leave telemetry. We'll get rid of that. There we go. Now we can see everything as we go on board with him for the start of his lap, barreling into turn 1. Be careful not to cut the inside and then the outside of that section of corners. Little lock up for that next left-hander, but that's okay. Now heading towards turn 5. Again, easy to invalidate on the left and the right. Don't hit the wall on the left either. Lots of things to do. You can get an invite. Absolutely. Absolutely. There we go. Meanwhile, Harry's completed the first sector with a 26.4. Don't know if that is very good. Sorry, I should have seen... I have Discord on the other monitor. I didn't see myself. But hey, I was yapping. Anyway, down into third gear for this bit, which is interesting. I have not done any practice around Singapore yet, so I can't really say for sure what is the best lines and gears to take in each corner and all this stuff, but hey ho. DRS zone number 2 out of 3, out of 4 even. There's 4 DRS zones at this track as he heads into the third sector in turn 14. A little bit of oversteer, plenty of battery still to use as we are in the final of 4 DRS zones. And now to the newly profiled corner. Over the curve a bit, try not to lose the rear of the car, need some decent ride height around here to avoid that, and then through the final corner, flat out ideally. Don't do a Lance Stroll into the wall, and there we go. It's a 1:28.5 for the opening lap of the day from Harry Spanswick. Next up is Hayden Williams. He's coming around the final corner. And he doesn't beat it. He's 9/10 down on Harry's time. Yatin sets a time of a 29.6, a couple tenths further back. What about Arno? I think he'll be very quick around here. I think he's going to win. There's my early prediction. He's going to win this race. And is he going to go on provisional pole for now? He is with a 28.2. Next to cross the line, we have Charlie Roberts in the racing ball. Let's get an idea of the off-board camera shots as usual. Early doors here. Crosses the line, goes 5th fastest, narrowly behind Yatin. Who else is on a lap? Stewart is on a lap in the Alpine. Bit more battery to use to the final corner. Repping Valtteri Bottas is number 77. He goes 3rd fastest. Not a bad time at all there, as Alfie has invalidated his time. So let's go on board with someone who hasn't. Here is left wing back, starting his lap in the first sector. Down Raffles Boulevard. And sets a 26.3. That's a 10th up on what we saw from Harry. So currently tracking for an Aston Martin 1-2. But there's a lot more corners to go in 3rd gear for this. Use all of the track. Make sure your car misses the bit of the wall that sticks out. And another bit here. That was really tight to the inside barrier on the left. He has to correct the oversteer as well, so he doesn't fling himself into one of the walls. Over the Anderson Bridge. Misses the wall on the right as well. That section is amazing. There's just wall after wall you have to just narrowly miss to get it right. Purple middle sector for Lloyd here. Gets a decent exit as well. Will he nab a bit of slipstream from the RB of, I think, Alfie? Might be Charlie, actually. 3rd gear for this next chicane. And this is looking like a very, very strong lap indeed. Will it beat Arno, is the question I'm asking. Yes, it will by 4/10, a 27.8. That is quite something so far. Let's go on to somebody else doing a lap. This is Bart Nouting. He's in the middle sector. He is one of 7 drivers yet to set a time. 17 on the grid today, despite attendance being posted 2 hours ago. But yeah, here we see Bart filtering his way through. Doesn't look as fast from the off-board cameras. That good. Chucks it in to turn 13. Using a lot of steering lock there. Don't know if that is good. What do we think this is going to be from Bart? It's looking neat and tidy. No major slides, no clashes with the wall. But is it fast enough? Into the final couple of corners. 18 and 19 to the line. DRS open. It goes P10, slowest of the lot. Neat and tidy was not good enough, unfortunately, for him. It's 30.2. But here's Jaden Jackson with a purple middle sector. Is that a lie? A truth or a lie, that middle sector? We will find out very shortly. Again, how close is he going to get to this wall? Very close. I think he hits it with his rear tyre. Didn't lose too much momentum, though. And he comes to the line now. And he goes P4 with a 28.6. So not a bad time from him there. But still 6/10 off the best we have seen. Callum Pearce is the only one on a lap who's yet to set one. So let's watch the rest of his lap. 26.6 sector 1, that is not purple as a Sauber gets out of the way. We saw a 26.3 from left wing back who's currently on pole. That was nice and smooth on exit there. Down into 4th gear for this. We saw someone using 3rd, but uses all of the track. How much is he going to gamble over the curb here? Not a lot at all. Nice and controlled through here. But again, I don't think it looks very fast. Apparently there is a lot of rain in the race, is what we are seeing on our weather forecast. A lot of rain. But for now, we've got a nice dry nighttime qualifying. And we're going to see what the Mercedes of Callum Pearce can do in the final sector. Uses a bit of curb, kisses the wall. I think this is going to be P11. Oh, it's P9. It's a bit better than that. 29.1. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Just behind his teammate Conor McCabe, who is coming into pits after invalidating his time. Here's Harry Spanswick, though. P3 after the first run. And we will see if he can improve on that. Up to 8th gear. 10th up in Sector 1, matching that first sector of the poleman so far. Harry Spanswick rocking the beautiful American Haas livery. We saw him sort of oversteer as he flicked out of shot there. I think that would have lost him a lot of time. Let's see how much is he going to gamble on the curb. We saw Lloyd absolutely send it over that curb and almost rally it through this section. Harry gets the apex in nicely there. What about traction? Really difficult traction zone here, in my opinion. Gets a slipstream from the man he's trying to beat in the Aston Martin. Ahead of him of Arno. And now he's got basically one real corner to go. The final corner is flat out, we don't care about that one, but this one is really tricky. And he's negotiated it well. Is this going to be an improvement? He's going to the line, he must be up on his delta, but he's thrown it all away in the final corner, I think, and that is not going to be an improvement. Actually, it is by 8/100ths, but it could have been so much more. He definitely has the pace for the front row, I think. On board with Stewart now, who sets a 26.3 himself in the first sector. So some drivers are starting to find some pace in that first sector to match the leaders. That's a bit wide, deep, I think, into that corner. He uses plenty of curb. That is very aggressive into there. That's how you want to do it. Almost hits the wall on the right hand side. Maybe has to lose a bit of speed because of that. Yes, that apex hooked up nicely. How's the exit? Looks good. Overtake engaged. This is looking decent for Stewart. What's the middle sector split? He's only half a tenth up though. I thought it would have been a bit more. As Alfie Edevine goes third fastest on a 28.4. Still 6/10 off the pace we've seen from Lloyd. That looked a bit deep into the chicane from Stewart. He chucks it into the final corner though and crosses the line and goes third fastest. He beats Alfie with a 28.3. That could be his best quality of the season so far. Don't remember seeing Stewart into the top 3 in a qualifying so far. If I'm wrong, you're welcome to shout at me. Very impressive stuff from the Alpine driver. A regular of GRS in recent times at least. Anyway, we're on board with his teammate Jatin for today, the reserve driver, who's recently joined the lobby, set to 29.6. Can he improve here, or will he pull into the box? He's going to pull into the box. I think everyone's pitting, to be honest. I don't know who's on a lap here. Maybe one of the Ferraris of Zan here. He hasn't set a time yet. Must have invalidated. Little kiss of the wall. Flicks it in. It didn't look very realistic from the off-board shot, but there we go, up to P6 for Zan in the Ferrari. I make excuses. Doesn't need an excuse for P6. It's a very respectable position. So now the driver who is at the back is Emily Corcoran. And let's see if they can improve. Here as they kiss the wall on the inside, turned in a little bit too much. The car gripped up more than he expected. But still, should be time to find. He's half a second up after the first 2 sectors. So currently only tracking to maybe beat 1 or 2 drivers. Let's see how his final sector is. Maybe he made a big mistake on the previous run. And he pulls into the pits actually. With only 4 minutes to go, it's probably wise if he wants to get another run done. I think that'll be the same for everybody here. You're a main? Yatin, I thought you were a reserve driver. Oh, sorry. LP. Well, you didn't sign up on the attendance. You're a main? Oh, I thought you were a reserve. You were a reserve last season. Okay. Is this a lap? No, this is a in-lap. I think these are both in-laps for Bart as well. 3 minutes and a half to go. Alfie's complaining he's got a dry setup on. I don't use wet setups. Don't see the point. Is it going to be wet the whole race? That would take a bit of strategy out, to be honest. We'll see. Anyway, 3 minutes to go, so drivers will be coming out the pits very shortly for the final runs. Currently, of course, we have the two Astons out in front, the constructors' leaders. Lloyd Bailey, left wing back, and Arno, who I never say his full name for some reason, but Arono or Arno. Anyway, Stewart's P3, as I said, very, very good time from him. Only a tenth off the front row at the moment, but there's a big gap between first and second. Alfie is in fourth, 100th behind Stewart. Harry Spanzwick is in fifth and on a lap. It's a bit early to be on your final flying lap, but here he is. I thought he was on an outlap, to be honest with you. He's marginally down, but he did make a mistake in the final corner last time, let's not forget. So this could still be an improvement to jump him up to the front row, maybe. How's his final chicane going to be? Third gear, bounces over the curb quite nicely. Didn't unsettle the car. Runs a bit wide, though. And what about the final corner? Much more controlled this time. Is it going to be enough for the front row? No. So he does technically have time to back out. And if he has the fuel, which he does not have the fuel. He has 1.3 laps on his steering wheel, I think. So that is it for Harry. P5 at best for him. Is probably quite disappointing. Actually, no, what am I talking about? But I think he could have improved, is my point. Anyway, Daniel Bakalik in the other Haas is on a lap in Sector 1 and was really throwing the car into turn 5. Sorry about that. There we go. 2 tenths down, and has probably lost even more time there. So if I was him, I would back off, and he has. He will have the fuel to go again if he decides to slow down. You're driving a bit fast. Maybe he's close, actually. Maybe he needs to go faster to get to the line in time. Anyway, the first driver to complete a meaningful lap will be Hayden, but he's invalidated, so we can forget all about that and switch to Stewart instead, who's currently P3. And let's see his lap in all its glory. In fact, the Red Bull is ahead, but we'll watch Stewart instead. Why not? Big slide of oversteer through turn 5. That may cost him on the exit all the way down the Raffles Boulevard. As many drivers are now racing to get to the line. 25 seconds to go. They should all be okay there, I think, as long as they get on with it. Down at the back, Red Bull John Ahern is in a bit of trouble, maybe. And Stewart has no rear end through here. He's really fighting the car. This is surely not an improvement. I want to see if John Ahern actually makes the line here. Or am I just... are we okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, and he's made it. Just in time. There's the checkered flag, and everyone is on their final flying laps. It looks like Harry has made it to go again. Although he doesn't have any fuel, so I don't know what's going on there. And there's also a left wing back getting out of the way. He's invalidated. He is not going to improve. Hayden, of course, invalidated. Let's see. Across the line. Oh, Emily's gone wide. And that is going to be that for them. So Stuart Bradbury will be the first one to set a valid time, but he's backed out of it. He's in non-ERS. Let's go to Jaden Jackson, who's currently P8. Fighting the wheel on entry. Soaring at it. And through the final corner after a little tap with the barrier. Is it going to be an improvement from P8 on the grid for Jaden? Yes, it is. P7 for now. Next up is the Williams of Callum Lyons, reserving up today, and he's lost it completely and is into the wall. A huge slap of oversteer out the final corner. What about Zan in the Ferrari? He's next across the line, and he goes second fastest onto the front row. What a lap from him. What about the Racing Bull of Charlie Roberts? He's currently 16th and is coming out the final corner himself. Don't think it will be P2, but it may be an improvement up to P13. Next up is Arno. He stays third at the moment. Bakalik, I believe, is pulling into the box. But what about Barton Outing in the Ferrari? He crosses the line along with a Racing Bull. He stays 12th. Alfie stays 6th. Jatin goes 8th. And then finally, John Ahern crosses the line to goes P12. They all cross the line in very quick succession at the end there. But the story is left wing back set one lap and thought, I've had enough. Because he's too good. He's still 3/10 clear of the next fastest driver, who was Zan, who pipped. Connor's actually gone up to P3. That's the lap time we missed. 1,000th behind Zan in the Ferrari. That is very, very unlucky to be P3 there. Arno P4 in the end. Stuart 5th. Alfie in 6th, who is unhappy with Bart for holding him up on his lap. However, they were both on flying laps, it seemed. And Harry Spanswick spins across the line. He is 7th on the grid today. Apparently Bart was parked at the end of the lap. Well, I saw him cross the line, so I don't really know what Alfie is talking about there. But Callum Lyons didn't set a lap on a set of tyres. So I think that's an instant disqualification. If anyone wants to appeal or report that, he didn't have any tyres on. Clearly that's not allowed. Anyway, there's your grids. Exciting stuff. Now let's see this weather. I've heard about rain. People have said there's going to be lots of rain, so we'll find out very shortly. I was going to see the invalidations. There you go. Maybe Bart held up Alfie on the start of their laps. Maybe. Oh, there is the heavy rain. And that is some heavy rain, I'll tell you that. Singapore loves some rain. I'm sure we'll get rain tomorrow. We've had rain in every single race this season in F1 at some point. But this is F2, where we've only had, I think, one wet session. Might be wrong. Yeah, I actually have no idea. Well, I think we had one. Anything interesting in the pit lane? I don't think so today. To be honest, no fans in the paddock club. No mechanics in the garages. One marshal just chilling on the right here. A few people on the pit wall. But yeah, pretty boring pit lane it looks like. To be honest, no McLarens on the grid today. Well, we all know they are mudded anyway, right? Who do we think is going to win? Any predictions? I said Arno was going to win. He's starting 4th. But wet weather. You know, do we have a wet weather specialist in this tier? Do we have a Thomas Underhill? A Volt? Not sure. Here we go then. We're ready. It's full wet conditions and we have 4 red lights and now 5. And the lights are gone and we are racing. We were held for a very long time there, but it looks like a wheel spinny start for the front 2. I think left wing back gets off the line well. Let's see if he can lead into turn 1. It's actually Zan up the inside. There's contact behind. There's lots of cars going in between each other. The Sauber takes to the escape road. I see Inters and Wets for the grid, and that's a Sauber in a Warner. Mercedes has been pinned there. I don't know which Mercedes. There we have a virtual safety car as Jaden Jackson is out of the session. Jatin's got a time penalty for colliding with Alfie, who's up to 4th. Callum Lyons is up to 6th. He's on the full wet tyre. Is anyone on intermediates? Because yes. Oh, it's very split. Personally, I would be on intermediates because the wets are rubbish all the time. But we'll see. We don't know how long this rain is going to last. If it lasts 15 laps, I'd say the wets are better. Oh, that's a huge slide under virtual safety car. Look, Alan Pierce. What are you doing, lad? As you can see, we've got weather effects graphics on high here today. Hopefully it looks okay on the stream. The bitrate might struggle, I'm not sure. And we are under racing again, under green flag conditions, and that's a... Ooh, Arzan is struggling on the wet tyre here. He's got two Astons chasing him down. This is going to be very close. I'm surprised the Inters are holding on. There's a yellow flag further back as Callum Lyons is losing a place. There's lots of spray. It's very hard to see what is going on here. We see some side-by-side action, I think. Can't see anything. Oh, into the wall maybe is a Mercedes. Yes, I think there was a little bit of contact. I think he's got away with no damage, though. So we'll switch back to the front guys. Oh, can't see a thing. Can't see a thing in this spray. It's crazy. Definitely means it's full wet conditions. With the spray, we'll get a good idea of when it is Inters, because the spray will just suddenly disappear, as that's a Merc on Inters running a bit wide. That's Connor, and he's going to be under pressure from Bart Nauting in the Ferrari. What a great camera angle down the straight, as there's almost a bit of side-by-side contact, but Bart is safely up the inside and into P9. Early doors as Charlie Roberts also makes up a place into turn 1, this time on the Red Bull. Harry has lost loads of places at the start. And now he's thinking about going 3 wide with these two. It's not going to go well as the Merc runs really wide. Connor's struggling with some front wing damage. You can see on that end plate. And he's now lost a place to Harry Spanswick, who is up to 11th. Hayden's AI, I think, is in the session. Do you need inviting? Not sure. Not sure. What's Harry going to do? He's got damage as well. In fact, I think so does the Alpine. They all have damage. Stewart, yeah, down in 10th. So these guys got involved in that first corner incident. As there's another yellow flag. This time it's for the Red Bull at the back. In a bit of trouble. So yeah, these 3 drivers have lost loads of places from that early skirmish. But yeah, that's not good. Let's get back to the tyres as we see Bakalik's probably in a wall, is he? Oh, he's lost his entire front wing. We saw his name tumble down the timings, and we have another virtual safety car to pick up that debris. Will any of the people on wets get off them and go on to intermediates at this time? I'm not sure. As I said, I don't know the forecast, but for me, the wets are not the tyre of choice ever. Maybe if you're P1 they could be, though, to be fair. You can actually create a gap. But if you're in the pack as Callum Lyons is out... Has he got damage? How's he crashed there? Has he crashed? Or has AI retired him? I'm not sure. But he is out, and into the pits for a new front wing comes Connor and Daniel Bakalik as well. Drive-through penalty for Stewart as we go green flag racing yet again. The Aston Martin still on the back of Zan on their intermediates. There's more people pitting. This time John Ahern pitting for wets, which is really surprising for me. But we will see how it all pans out. Maybe the wets are going to be the tyre of choice for a long, long time. Because there's no doubt they are faster right now. But usually that only lasts about 5 or 6 laps if it's going to dry up. Any point? And looking at it right now, the Inters on the Astons are looking very good. Let's get the telemetry on. I've almost forgot about that. There was so much going on in those opening 3 laps. So here is the fight for the lead. Lloyd is trying to get back past the wet runner of the Ferrari. Tiptoeing round. Let's go on board with Zan and see how much grip he has. Here the wheel spin as he sets a purple sector 2, but he's sliding almost into the wall with a bit of rear locking. Gets away with it. Arno maybe dropping back by a couple of tenths, but we're still within striking distance. That might be a bit deep for the Ferrari there. Good exit for Lloyd. Could get this move done into turn 1 here. The Ferrari's got a poor run, and he's going to be compromised, and he's going to be under the pressure. They're side by side down the straight. Who's going to be later on the brakes, though? The wets or the intermediates? Lloyd Bailey is up the inside. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. It's the Ferrari who's gone off the track and has lost another place to the Aston Martin of Arno. It's a 1-2 for Aston now. And the race leader loses 2 places in 1 corner. And now I'm starting to think that maybe the intermediates are better, as Hayden Williams pits off the wets for the inters. So yeah, I really don't understand why people try wets on this game. It's ultra realistic by saying they are useless. And here's Stuart Bradbury proving my point again. He's on the inters and he's making places, this time on Harry Spanswick. Both of those have front wing damage, I believe. Purple sector 1 for Stuart in the process. Let's see, look at the gap. Look at the gap out in front. Over a second now, as Stuart gets past Bart as well in quick succession. He's really making easy work of these wet runners. And you can see the rain has got less, has it? It looks like it's raining less all of a sudden. The spray is certainly a bit less. And it's now light rain conditions, I think. Maybe still a bit heavy rain, but just look at the spray. It's so much less than it was before. And to be honest, I'm not sure it's coming down as heavy. There's still some spray. But I don't know. The intermediates look like the better tyre. Of course, those on wets have a 20-second penalty, basically, because they started on wets. Unless they want to go straight to slicks, if we ever get there. I do not know if it is going to dry in this session. We'll see as Arno sets the fastest lap ahead of his teammate. So that could be a spicy battle out in front between the Aston Martins. But we're watching Stewart, who's currently 7th, 4 tenths behind Callum Pearce in the Mercedes. And locking both front tyres into turn 1. But it looks like he's on a charge to make up after that first corner incident. Got plenty of battery to use on this straight if he wants it. Here he goes. Down Raffles Boulevard. Is the Mercedes using as well? Yes, he is. Looks like it's going to be enough to defend for now. As further back into the pits comes the other Mercedes of Connor for a second time in this race. Stewart just getting better traction, I think, than the wet runner. And the wet runner runs a bit deep into the next left-hander of turn 9. Oh, there's the helicam. That's what we want to see. Look at these 4 cars in quick succession here. 3 of them on wets. 1 of them on the intermediates, and that is Stewart. Is he going to go for a lunge into this hairpin? Decides against it. Maybe we'll get a good run out of the corner. As out in front, I said Arno had pace. I was wrong. He's lost about 7 tenths to his teammate recently. And Stewart thinks about a move, but there was no... It was too late to make that sort of move. He decides against it in the end, but now he's got a great run, and this is going to be the move, surely. He sticks it into none. Why have you put it in none? He's waiting. He's being patient. Turn 1 is his next opportunity. As Lloyd sets the fastest lap of the race, 48.4. And into the pits comes Stewart. Off the intermediate tyres. And on to, what, another set of inters? Also into the pits comes Harry Spanswick. These guys may be wanting to change their front wings at last, but it's a really weird time to make a pit stop, in my opinion. Let's see what tyres he puts on, and if he changes his wing. Does he have a penalty? Sorry, what? Why did... What? What's just happened? Did he have a drive-through? He didn't tell me he had a drive-through. On the side of the screen, it didn't say DT. I do remember him getting a drive-through. I didn't know Harry got one as well. Well, that's very unfortunate. I should pay more attention. Anyway, here's Bart going up the inside of Charlie Roberts. Both on the wet... Oh, it's actually Callum Pearce. Why am I saying Charlie Roberts? Yeah, he holds on around the outside. Really? I didn't know I needed pens on to see drive-through. Even though, like, it should still show the little penalty symbol by his name. Or maybe it did and I didn't see that. And into the wall is Jatin! And Zan! What happened? I switched to them because they were changing places. I didn't know they were pushing each other into a wall. Deary me. I feel like half the grid has front wing damage. And here's Bart going back on Callum Pearce up the inside. Side by side into the final chicane. The two in front of them are also fighting. And almost pushing each other into a wall again as Jatin has to back out of it. Zan is coming into the box though on his wet tyres. Bart will stay out. He's showing some decent pace at the moment, but it's definitely light rain now. You can see the drops, you can see the lack of spray. Maybe not. It's so hard to tell. Looking forward it looks like light rain, and then you look behind you it looks like heavy rain. I don't know. I still think the Inters are the tyre of choice. The spray is definitely less now, so we will say it's light rain conditions. So Harry's into the box now for a new front wing and a new set of intermediate tyres. So let's see how long these guys will go on wets for. The Ferrari of Bart and the Mercedes of Callum. A little bit of oversteer and wheel spin out of that corner. Harry exits the pits behind the Red Bull down in 14th. Ooh, on the curb and into the wall slightly, but no damage from that little minor bit of contact with the wall. I wonder if these tyres are overheating big time now. I wonder if we can even see on the steering wheel. It's quite difficult to see. It's probably possible if you tried hard enough. Lots of gaps in this race as well, of obvious reasons. Lots of incidents, lots of damage, lots of... you know, it's wet weather, so the pace differences are going to be bigger. But the field spread is absolutely massive right now. And this is the closest battle we have on the track on lap 8 here. Stewart is the one to set the fastest lap on his... No, he didn't change his wing. No, he just had a drive-through. But yeah, Stewart's shown some really good pace around Singapore so far. It's a shame he got involved in that incident. Started up there in the top 5 on the grid, I believe. Now finds himself 8th, but setting the fastest times. Out in front, the two Astons lead us, 2 seconds apart. Lloyd ahead of Arno. And John Ahern is the latest to bail off the wet tyres. He's also getting a new front wing. He will come out in last at the moment. As Connor now sets fastest lap. So it is drying. 46.3 is your fastest at the moment. Let's have a look at this. There we go. 46.3 is what I said. Yeah, so look at those wet tyre runners. They're 3 to 4 seconds down on the best times we're seeing out there right now. And here is Charlie Roberts closing them down. Left wing back 45.3 as he crosses the line. Arno 46.4. I'm assuming everyone's setting their fastest times. Let's see what Alfie does. He does not set his fastest time. What about Yatin? I didn't see. 45.4. Very quick. Let's see what Bart does. Is he going to improve on a 49.7? Yes. 49.2. So he's 4 seconds slower than Yatin ahead of him. on the wet by being on the wet tyres at this stage. And I'm pressing the wrong buttons. There we go. Stewart 45.2. So the Inter's 3 to 4 seconds a lap faster than the wets at the moment. The question is, are these guys on the wets trying to hold for a safety car or go to dries, or yeah, those are the options really, or are they going to bail into the pits and get on the Inters? Charlie cranking the steering lock on over the curb. Thinking about having a go. Runs a bit wide with a bit of a slide. Maybe we'll have to wait till a bit later on. Here is Harry Spanswick down in 13th. But he has the Red Bull in his sights. Also out in front, can we say, the gap is down to 1.1 seconds between Lloyd and Arno. Arno closing him in again. Maybe we'll see some scrapping between them soon. Running wide is the Red Bull off the track. Could that let Harry get past? No. Not yet, but it will certainly give him some confidence. So they all seem to be struggling 10 laps into this intermediate stint. Maybe a bit of tyre wear coming into play. It is wet offline if they're overheating as well, but I don't think they would be at this stage. Oh, into the wall a bit was the Red Bull, but Harry didn't have the best run through there himself. He's going to have to try and set up a move. This could be a good exit for him. And it wasn't. And just as I'm cursing everything, because I just said that Arno was 9/10 behind, and now he's lost another 9/10. Here we see Charlie Roberts with overtaking gauge. Is he going to go for a late send up the inside? No, late on the brakes, but not late enough to send one on the Merc. Bart doing a good job of, Callum doing a good job of holding off Charlie Roberts at the moment. And Bart just a little bit up the road himself, keeping it on the track. Cooling the tyres, you see, in the wet part of the track. Oh, that's a bit of a poor run for Callum. Will he be able to be attacked up the inside here? No, he won't. But he's really got no grip now. The tyres will be complaining big time and overheating. Can Charlie Roberts find a way past? Will it take a dangerous lunge maybe up the inside as left wing back sets a 43.4? That is rapid. Absolutely rapid pace compared to Arno's 45, which is best. But here goes Charlie. He's tagged the inside wall while trying to get past. And I think they're still side by side. No, he is ahead. And he is up in the P6. It was hard work, but he's got it done. And now Bart is the next car on track, sparking away further up the road. And look at how much time Charlie's gained already on him. Bart surely goes to cool his tyres down. But if Bart has enough battery, he can maybe hold on for a bit longer. He's got 90%. So he's prepared for this attack into the end of the first sector. As Harry gets past the Red Bull into the chicane as well. We will switch back to Charlie Roberts very shortly. Here he is. And no, Bart has decided to deploy 20% and hold on to that position for now. Stewart is now on the scene as well, by the way. So I think now it's clear to me that these wet runners are trying to go to the dry period, assuming there is one. But we'll see if that's possible, as Stewart has got a good run here on the Mercedes. He's going to try and send it up the inside of this corner. This is not an overtaking opportunity, and he backs out of it. Smart choice there. That would have been very risky. What about here, though? He can send one up the inside. No, it was covered off. Well defended by the Merc. And Stewart gets a bit of a wheel spin the exit. I don't think he'll be able to send one. He's going for it though. Overtaking engaged up the inside, late on the brakes, and comfortably through. Callum will try and fight it back, but won't be able to, as Bart Nauting is under pressure from Charlie Roberts, who swoops around the outside of that little kink and overtakes Bart in the same place he got Callum on the lap before. And he is up into 5th place in this race. Here comes Stewart. Look at the traction difference now. Why are you on wet tyres, lads? Up the inside, late on the brakes, later than the wet runner, of course. No warnings going off the track. And nice and easy into P6. So he's now got 1.4 seconds to Charlie ahead, and then a huge gap up to Yatin, who's currently P4. The top 4, the ones who've mostly stayed out of trouble. Yatin, of course, was involved in an incident with I Make Excuses, who's down in 10th. Alfie's been relatively clean today so far. And of course the Astons trading lap times, it looks like, because the gap is now coming down again to 1.5 seconds, as it looks like left wing back is harvesting a bit. So I'm interested to see if these guys will actually have a scrap at some point. I do think Lloyd has a bit of pace in hand, but you never know. As here's Stewart threatening to overtake Charlie. Will he get a good exit here? He overtook on the previous lap here. He's going to the outside this time though. So who will have the braking performance? Charlie on the inside brakes very late, and Stewart's going to try and switch it back on him, but the traction is very difficult, and a huge slide means that's going to be not possible. He's going to have to tuck into the slipstream, get the overtake engaged. Charlie Roberts doesn't have much battery left, but he holds on to the position for now, late into the chicane. What will he do now? Both of them are low on battery, so that kind of negates it, but Stewart does have more, and he will fancy himself down into turn 1. Charlie doesn't fight it, and the position is gained for Stewart up into P5. Maybe Charlie will try and fight it back down Raffles Boulevard, but I'm not sure, as we see Callum Pearce and Bart now fighting, the 2 wet runners. They've got 8 seconds to the car behind them, that is Daniel Bakalik. But these tyres must be awful now. Look how dry it is compared to earlier on. They will be overheating like crazy. As Harry Spanswick sets the fastest lap, 43.4. He's on the back of Hayden in the Sauber. And he's just passed Hayden in the Sauber, who must have had a mistake. Actually, he's not in the session. I forgot. Does he want... If he wanted an invite, he would have said something by now. Yeah, he's not there. Under a second the gap now out in front, but again, Lloyd has a whole battery to spend if he wants it. So the next closest battle is for P9. Bakker versus Zan here. Big slide from Daniel in the Haas ahead. But it's going to be enough to hold on this particular straight. Now he's got another straight to deal with. And look at how quickly they are gaining on the wet runners. They've gained about 6 seconds this lap already. So this is very quickly going to become a 4-way scrap for P7. And that could get tasty, although I say that, and into the pits comes Bart Nauting. He's had enough of the wets. Maybe... Oh, I just realised what he's doing. He's trying to do a 1-stop and hoping everyone else can only do a 2-stop. Which makes me think it's not going to dry. Fascinating. But then wait, no, all of these guys started on inters. They're doing a 1-stop. So no, I take it back. Well, I guess it's maybe faster than someone like Zan here, who's done 7 laps on these tyres. Anyway, here goes Daniel Bakalik on Callum Pearce up the inside at the end of Raffles Boulevard, and a nicely completed move there. I'm running out of words to say, honestly, like, to describe an overtake. This one would be special though. Round the outside, does he have the grip? No, he doesn't. Not quite on the inters. Will he send one up the inside of this corner? This is very, very tight. If he does, and he backs out of it. Smart thinking. His left wing back again sets the fastest lap. And it's now 3.5 seconds clear of Arno. Here we go then, Zan. Back has got away by 3 seconds already. You were fighting him just before. Because you're being held up a bit by a wet runner. It's not helpful. Bart Louting is going to have a huge undercut on Callum here as well, so that's not going to help him. And here goes Zan to the right-hand side. Should be a nice easy pass up the inside. They're still side by side though, despite the tyre difference. But ultimately, the superior grip of the intermediate is enough to send him through. And into the pits comes Callum Pearce. So that's everyone off the wets then. Although, that was a very slow pit entry. Did he crash? We were on the off-board shot. And suddenly, he was crawling into the pit lane. Here's Bart up the inside into the final corner of Imola. Where is they? Where are they? Where's Bart? Bart's in the pit wall. What's going on? I blame the off-board shot for not showing me that, because I was flicking between them and I saw nothing. Deary me, I don't know what happened. If anyone has any idea what has just happened, I would love to know. And now look, I don't understand what is going on here. Like, Lloyd 3.6 a minute ago, now it's down to 2.1 again. Like, is there any consistency out in front, please? Anyway, it looks like it's getting very dry now, and the rain has stopped. I think the rain's just stopped. Why would you pit on the wets now? Oh dear, the strategy has got to be questioned from these two. It's now dry, you could have gone to slicks. I'm assuming their tyres were at like 85%. But nah, dearie me. You got to question what's gone on there. But it looks like we're going to get a second half of the race that is dry, which will be very interesting. And into the pits already is Stewart. He's the first one to go for the slicks. Hard tyres though, they're going to be very cold to get on. Nice visual glitch there, because it looked like there was some hard tyres off the car too. Well done, game. But yes, hard tyres for Stewart. This will be interesting. 42.2 the fastest time at the moment. In also comes Bakalik for hard tyres. I mean, hard tyres will get you to the end, so it is the smart decision. But they will be really cold on the outlap. And I expect Harry to gain a little bit in the first sector and then lose. Let's see. Yeah, he's gaining through here. Look at that. Look at the lack of grip from the cold, hard tyres. Still not decided to repair his front wing as Stewart. Any grip yet on these tyres? Doesn't look like it. No, not at all. And here comes Harry on the intermediate. It's going to be up the inside. Thinks different of it, though. As Bart is trading places once again with Emily down in 10th. Into the pits comes Arno in the Aston Martin. This could be crucial if he's got the lap right. Here goes Harry up the inside. The Inters are still faster. But is that because of tyre warm-up? There's a yellow flag, and that's a Haas of Daniel Bakalik. He's into a wall again. And he's lost his front wing. Medium tyres for Arno as well, by the way. That is interesting. Is he going to be able to undercut his teammate here? Has he got it right? Has he got the tyre switch lap right? I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's see how much grip he's got on these mediums out the box. Looks okay. Mediums should make it to the end, just, I think. It will be difficult, but they will also be better for these first 2 laps on the warm-up phase. Fastest lap, 42.2. Into the pits as well comes Hayden in the kick Sauber. He's had enough of the Inters. People aren't sure what lap to go on here. It's very split so far, the decisions. across the grid as Charlie Roberts gets a 3-second penalty. And Arno looks like he has absolutely no grip out there, I'm not going to lie. But is he gaining on Yatin? Yes, he is. He's just gained half a second in those couple of corners. And into the pits comes left wing back. They've gone a lap later. There's also Alfie Edeveen in. There's Bakalik and Connor in as well. Where's left wing back going to come out? He's gone for the hards. Okay. He's gone for the hards. I think he is going to come out ahead though, because Arno is nowhere near the final corner. I thought this would be close. Clearly, it's the wrong lap that Arno pitted on, and left wing back has got it right, because he is miles ahead. And in fact, Alfie Edeveen is more of a fight for Arno here than left wing back was. The gap is 8 seconds between the two Aston Martins, actually 6 seconds between the two Aston Martins. So Arno lost about 3 seconds there, I think, with that earlier pit stop, and he's put on the mediums, which will struggle to make it to the end. Zan stays out on the inters at the moment. Harry's now into the box as well. Stewart, after pitting first, being the guinea pig, is starting to set purple sectors. Although I say that, he's just run very deep into turn 2. And in fact, he still hasn't beaten that best time from left wing back. Let's see what Arno does on this lap. He's got a 4.9 gap ahead of him now. Gained a second in about a sector and a half with these warm mediums. And faster mediums for a few laps at least. Hayden's not in this race and he's P11. And he hasn't been in the race since lap 1. Fascinating. 4.3 the gap now out in front. A couple drivers still on inters yet to make a stop. One of them is the Ferrari in 4th of Zan, and one of them is the Red Bull in 8th of Emily. There's a yellow flag at the final corner. It's a Haas. And it's Daniel Bakalik on the start-finish straight. He's had another spin. Going to be passed by Connor, and Bakker is now last in this race, unfortunately for him. He's about to be lapped. He has been lapped, actually. He's about to be lapped by P3. Into the pits, though, comes Zan in the Ferrari. Put on a set of hards. Now, I think you could go mediums from here. 12 laps, maybe. 14 laps is a bit pushing it, but 12 is probably okay. Stewart goes up to P5 and sets the fastest lap of the race. There we go. There we go. Arno sliding about still. Maintaining that gap at 4 seconds to the car ahead of him. As Charlie Roberts and Zan are fighting here. Side by side as Zan comes out the pit lane. He's got no tyre temp. And Charlie Roberts is up into P6. He's run a bit deep though, and Zan might pressure him. Down Raffles Boulevard. Overtake engaged, and then switched off promptly as Zan decides to back out of it and wait for his tyres to warm up a bit. Meanwhile, out in front, Arno's setting a purple sector. Into the pits comes Emily. And DRS has finally been enabled. That's quite late, considering we've been on dries for 2 to 3 laps for some people. But that will definitely help overtaking as there's a yellow flag at the final corner. And it's John Ahern. He spun. Lost a bit of his front wing on the inside wall there as well. As Arno now sets the fastest lap. 39.5. But left wing back is still maintaining that gap. In fact, now extending it to 4.3 seconds. Another fastest lap of the race, this time for Yatin. 38.6. Should be happy hour for fastest laps coming up now as the track really starts to dry properly. Of course, quali time was late 20s, wasn't it? 28, 29, 1 minute 29s. So you'd expect to shave some more time off these, and there's a 37.9. Just another purple sector for Stewart, despite the front wing. I think he's had lots of pace today, Stewart. In fact, Alpine in general. The two full-time Alpine drivers, let's not forget. 4th and 5th. Very good day for them so far. No penalties either. But not close enough to gain on any of the people ahead of them. Big slide and lock up for Stewart through that section of corners. Ten-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for John Ahern. I think that will be his race over, and he will be the 3rd driver to DNF from this race. Or maybe not. He just actually sped into the pit lane. Getting a new front wing, and we'll try and get some points maybe. What are the penalties like? Oh, never mind. He just got a speeding pen, didn't he? He's not going to get points. Currently in the points is the Red Bull of Emily. They might fancy another point by getting past Callum Pearce. Not with that sort of traction, they're not going to do that though. And both of them are gained on the AI car of Hayden in 10th. There's an AI car in 10th. What is going on? Callum's going to get DRS here from the AI car. And he flies through him up into P10. Left wing back 34.8. That's the kind of pace I was expecting. 34s. Has he suddenly taken 3 seconds out of everybody? He has. That is ridiculous. How has he just taken 3 seconds out of the entire field? Somebody screenshot this and use it as evidence to get rid of him from this tier. I know it's very misleading, but look at that. That's crazy. I'll screenshot it. There you go. Goodness me. 3 seconds faster than anybody. Anyway, here's the battle we want to see. P10. Between the Mercedes of Callum Pearce, who went wet. Well, wet to into to dry. Should have just gone wet to dry in my opinion, but we don't know the tyre wear. And the Red Bull, who has been trundling around at the back, but now suddenly... Oh, Zan's in the box. Why is Zan in the box? He's going on to a set of mediums. He's done 3 laps on hards, and he said, I've had enough. He wants a new front wing. Oh, he must have crashed. He must have crashed. That's not good for the Ferraris. Anyway, let's see some dry racing with DRS here. We've got 9 laps to go, or 10 laps including this one. And we're going to have a 3-way fight for P10 here, because look at where Zan's coming out of the box. This could get spicy. My spidey senses tell me this is going to get fucking tasty, baby. What a great clip. Here we go then. DRS engaged to the right hand side. And a nice boring easy pass. Maybe it won't get spicy yet, but here comes Zan. 1.8 behind. The question I have is, can the Red Bull gap a second? Or Callum fight back? They both have, well, the Red Bull has loads of battery to spend if he wants to. Meanwhile, by the way, out in front, the gap is 2 seconds. So left wing back did a glory lap, 3 seconds faster than anybody. And now he's had a less gloriful lap. And he's still 2 seconds faster, so he must have just done, like, burnt his entire battery. And now he's got a full battery again. This guy is farming. He's clip farming. What is this? What is this? Here goes Zan. There's a bit of contact, and there's a Mercedes into a barrier. But Zan is through. I don't know how, but Callum Pearce has hit the wall as we switch towards him there. Meanwhile, the gap out in front is 9/10. Is this Aston Martin play to get ahead of Alfie? I don't get it. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But left wing back has deliberately backed off to help his teammate catch up to him. And I don't know why. Because Alfie is not a threat. Unless no, Alfie is not a threat at all. Does set the fastest lap though, but he's still not a threat. As Zan gets past the Red Bull of Imola, and John Hearn is out. Is it safety car? Oh yeah! Some action is gonna happen. That's about fucking time, that is. No swearing needed, but it was needed because this race was turning into a bore fest. But now it isn't. Oh yeah. Nobody is watching. Well, that's not true. People are watching, but people aren't saying anything because they're probably racing. Who's going to be into the box? Jatin's into the box. Alpines are double stacking. I think they're far enough apart that it's okay. Yatin has put on the mediums. Stewart will also put on the mediums. Charles Robertos, currently P6. He's going to put on a set of medium. I mean, everyone's going to put on mediums, surely. So we're going to have, what, 6 laps of racing? Maybe 5 laps of racing after this safety car. The field is quite spread out even. So we'll take a long time to bunch them up. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. There's no way I am on your screen, Mr. Bombani Numbani. No way. Anyway, thanks for the coded message. Salute. Who's been sent off? Who's been sent off? Oh, he's talking about Everton United. What's going on in the Everton United game? Somebody's been sent off. Idrissa Gueye has been sent off. Oh, for goodness sake. That's an easy path to 3 points for United. I swear, if Mbermo gets FPL points, I will not be happy. I need to gain on my rivals, and I do not have Mbermo. He slapped his own teammate. How do you get sent off for assaulting your own teammate? That's domestic. That's not a... Well, I mean, domestic abuse is a crime, but, you know, you get my point. It's football. You're allowed to push your teammates. Was it an actual slap? I need to find this video now. What's he done? Anyway, someone else is pulling into the box. I think that was, I don't know. There's a Haas. Oh yeah, back up. Left wing back has joined the front of the train. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have a look at this on Twitter. What has Idrissa Gueye done? What has he done? Gueye receives a straight red for slapping his own teammate. Michael Keane. What? What? Oh, here we go. I've got a video. Oh wait, he's already been dismissed at that point. Full clip. Is that it? No. That's never a red. The game is truly gone. Truly gone. Right. Anyway, we're back. Sorry about that, but, you know, we weren't missing anything. That was a corner car. Did you see that? What's going on? Oh, he was unlapping. He was letting Daniel go through. That's very nice of him. I don't know if that's in the rules. There's also a Mercedes getting through there. Violent conduct against your own player should not be a red card. This is, you know, you should fight for the badge, and if that means fighting your teammates because they're playing badly, then there you go. What's going on here? We're having some lapped cars being unlapped. This is very good. This is very good. Also, it wasn't that violent. I've seen worse. I don't know. But that's my initial view on that. But it just ruins. I mean, I don't know what they were fighting about, because it's not like any of them conceded a goal. But yeah, I mean, it's just, at the end of the day, he's been sent off because he cares too much, which is a bit of a joke, really. Okay, now you've taken it to the extreme. We can't be wrestling our teammates, but a little push and a slap across the face. I don't know how hard the slap was. I don't know. Anyway, my 5 laps of racing was a bit optimistic here. I've never been able to do it. No, of course not. I was the one who got wrestled to the ground. No, that makes me sound like a wimp, but no, you get my point. I'm not a strong lad. I can run fast though. There you go. Anyway, let's talk about racing. That's what we want to talk about. We don't want to talk about wrestling. Screw wrestling. Was it a proper? Okay, maybe I need a proper replay, because I got, like, the replay I found on Twitter was some sideline angle that was quite far out. Didn't look like it was that crazy, but maybe I am wrong. Because yeah, you're right. You can't just assault your teammate. But it didn't look that bad from what I saw. Anyway, Hayden is still 10th, despite being an AI car. These guys are going to catch up on this lap, and we will go racing, I think, at the end of this lap. Connor is in AI mode, because he can. Bakalik is lapped, and I don't think will be let through, because he's quite far back. He's in between 5th and 6th. That is really awkward, actually. Wait, let's have a look at the order here. We got left wing back Arno, Alfie, Yatin, Stewart, then a Haas of Bakalik, and then Charlie Roberts, and then Harry Spanswick. Yeah. I don't know what the rules are here about lapping and unlapping. Maybe he should drop to the back. Maybe he should quit. I don't know. My friend has just said it's a very light slap on replay, and you've said it's a proper slap as well, saw replay, so I need to... I don't know who is right. For me, it didn't look that bad. Anyway, safety car is in this lap. We don't need to talk about Man United Everton anymore. We need to talk about the Aston Martins, and are they going to fight each other? Is Alfie Edevine going to get involved? Yatin is currently P2 because of these penalties. It's a double Alpine podium at the moment. That is the story. Alpine, a double podium. But let's see. We're going to have 4 laps of racing. And it's going to be the 2 Astons to lead us away. Left wing back has led every lap of this race. He's got the fastest lap. He's had pole position. He's on for a Grand Slam. Can he hold on to the Grand Slam? Let's see. Here he goes. He's gone for it now. Through the final corner, they all filter, and running wide already is Alfie Edevine. He's going to be under pressure from Yatin in the Alpine, but into the lead goes Arno, and left wing back will no longer lead every lap of this race as Arno has taken the lead. Here comes Yatin though on Alfie. He's got a great exit and he's going to be fighting for the podium. Around the outside of turn 5, this is very risky stuff. Are they going to get through it cleanly? Yes, they are. Oh, no, they're not. It's a little bit of contact. And Alfie is still side by side with Jatin here. Stewart is into the background on both of them and might be able to get past. Up the inside goes Jatin. Alfie's closing the door and has spun him round. That is classic Alfie Edeveen, and Yatin is down at the backs. Charlie Roberts is up into 4th almost. He's three wide, and Charlie's got the inside line. Charlie Roberts is into 4th place. Down into 6th is Harry Spanswick. Stewart's going to be fighting back against Charlie, the switchback, and now they've glitched inside each other with a little bit of lag. Who's going to come out and top inside each other? I don't know. It looks like Charlie Roberts is going to hold on to P4. I don't know if that's fair or not. I'd say it probably is. Stewart, you can't overtake him here. You've got to let that go now. I think he's trying not to push him through the corner, but he is. Arno is 1.4 clear, and maybe this was tactical from the Aston Martin so they can secure a 1-2. Is left wing back going to hold up the cars behind? It's an RB3-4 at the moment with Charlie Roberts in P4, but Stuart Bradbury is still on the podium at the moment. In fact, he's currently P3, I think, with penalties. I think Arno's just going to be out of that penalty window. But let's see, Stuart on Charlie yet again. Down into turn 1, we've got 3 laps to go, including this one. And they all filter their way down. I feel really bad for Jatin. That is going to be a report for Alfie. That is almost certainly a penalty in my book. From what I saw, looked like he turned across and Jatin had the curb on the inside, but I'm not sure. I am not sure. And here comes Harry Spanswick. Oh, big spinner in the background. That's Emily, and they're down and out of the points. And here goes Harry round the outside. There's not much room here. Not much room at all. In fact, there's no room. And Stewart's going to hold on. There's a huge strain from Alfie Edeveen downwards. He is really struggling. I'm not too sure why. He's going to let Charlie through. He's got front wing damage. He's going to let his teammate through. Is this a bit of team orders to get Charlie Roberts on the podium? This would be absolute limbs. How many penalties has Alfie got? Just 3 seconds. But now, can he defend for his life? He's really struggling with the front wing damage. Stewart is all over the back of him, though. And he's going to have to go to the outside here because Alfie will defend that inside line. There's a Haas behind him. And up the inside goes Stewart, and there's contact between them, and they're almost in the wall. They're wheel banging each other. Harry Spanswick is going to get past 2 of them in the process. Here comes Zan as well to make it a treble move, maybe. They're 3 wide down the straight. There's absolute chaos here. Up the inside goes Zan. It's 3 wide. This is not going to end well at all. Not going to end well. It has not ended well. Alfie's round. Alfie is round and into the wall, and there's a Ferrari taken with him. There's also a Haas at the back. That is Daniel Bakalik. Alfie Edeveen causing chaos once again. Same as last week. But there's still cars scrapping for positions here. Harry Spanswick is up into 4th. Zan is out. He's retired in the pit lane. We're on the penultimate lap of the race, and here comes Jatin for revenge. This time on Callum Pearce. He's going to go round the outside. Oh, and he's turned in a bit and maybe had caused a bit of contact himself. But he is up into 7th. Wonder if that will be reported. Let's go to leader, actually, because I want to see as Bart gets past Stewart and he's up into 5th. It's all kicking off at the end of this race here. Aston are currently holding on for a 1-2. But Charlie Roberts is in 5th. But he's going to lose 3 or 4 places. It could still be Stewart. Yeah, he could still lose down to 7th with this penalty. That is really unfortunate. This would be absolute limbs if Charlie Roberts got on the podium, but the penalty may cost him. It may cost him. The 2 Alpines might have a scrap here for P6 and 7, but they don't really want to if they want to maximise their result. And Stewart straight into the wall! After all the good work, he's locked up and thrown it all away at the very end. Down to P9. He manages to carry on, but he's got more front wing damage. And that is not going to go well for him. As we enter the final lap of the race, the 2 Astons are well out in front. But we are looking at the battle for P3. Charlie Roberts and Harry Spanswick. Harry does not need to overtake, but he might want to secure the position, just in case that penalty can get removed, as left wing back gets a time penalty, and Arno is currently winning. Well, that's changed it all out in front. There's now a battle for the lead. Is that a bit of carelessness from Lloyd? Here goes Harry Spanswick to the right-hand side. and forces his way through with a little bit of contact on Charlie Roberts, who's down to 4th, but it would still be an excellent result if he can hold on to that. Bart Nauting is going to gain that place on the penalties up into 4th though, and Charlie will currently finish 6th, and Arno's let through his teammate. This is woke nonsense out in front. What a load of rubbish. He's let him through. We do not appreciate this. Is rubbish. Boo Aston Martin. Clearly their team has downgraded since they got rid of their 2 best drivers last season. Clearly. They are a team of team orders frauds. Right. Enough of that. Look at this scrap. There's 4 cars fighting for P3. Charlie Roberts wants it on track for the pride and glory. He's going to go around the outside of Harry, but Harry is slightly ahead and can hold on. Charlie will try and switch back. Bart's going to watch this and try and pick off a place from Harry, and he's into the wall. Bart Nauting thrown it away, and he might... Oh my goodness me. And up the inside goes Charlie Roberts. He wants this position to Bradley, and Harry Spanswick has thrown it away as well. What's going on? Jatin is up into P4, and that's going to be a podium for Jatin. Charlie finishes 5th in the end. Aston were 1 and 2. We don't care about that. They were fraudulent with their team orders. Jatin was spun at the start of the safety car restart and then finishes 3rd. Charlie Roberts and Harry Spanswick are arguing in the Discord already. Bart, where did Bart finish? He spun with a few corners to go. Harry spun with a few corners to go. Alfie has been involved in chaos. Oh, you know, I am so glad. Who caused that safety car? John Ahern, thank you very much. We must all give you a massive thank you, because that was brilliant. That was what we wanted to see. Jatin is already driver of the day. I want to give it to Stuart, but he threw it away. He had such good pace, but he threw it away on many occasions. Bart Nauting as well. Being patient and coming through the field. Oh my goodness me. Anyway, left wing back wins. Arno in 2nd place. We don't care. It was rigged. It's been manipulated. It's been manipulated. Jatin goes from 8th to 3rd, but let's remember he was last at that safety car restart because he was spun round by Alfie Edeveen with a few laps to go, and he's fought his way back to 3rd. Harry Spanswick P4, but Charlie Roberts is driver of the day. I take it back. Charlie Roberts 16th to 5th. Bart Nauting 14th to 6th. Then we have Callum Pearce, Alfie Edeveen, Stuart Bradbury, and some more drivers. I need to see the race director. This is probably very important. Here's your race director. Oh, Jaden got a jump start, didn't he? So even if he hadn't been crashed out, he might have, well, whatever. Chaos at the end. And we weren't timed. Someone left. So I can go through the rest of the results. Hayden was an AI car and finishes 11th. I don't think he'll get points for that. But yeah. Yeah, there's unhappiness about the Aston Martin team orders, not just from me, but yeah. Oh, that was great. I enjoyed that at the end. It was a slow burner, but that safety car made it very good. Apart from that, I was just talking about inters and wets the whole race. But yeah, damn, look at that. Charlie Roberts, driver of the day. I mean, we don't need to do a vote. The guy should have had a podium. Really. Ugh. Do we want to do interviews? I don't really want to do interviews, to be honest. So we're not going to. Is the answer to that? We're not going to. Yeah, we're not going to. Alright, tomorrow. More of this. Hopefully better from the majority of the race. But we want that action at the end throughout tomorrow's race. I will be in it. David Hoy will be in it. Along with many other amazing drivers. And we'll put on a show. So join us for that. Wednesday is F3, which will be probably more carnage like this. And then next week is... What is on the calendar next week? Oh, the Mystery Grand Prix. Wowzers. I get to spin a wheel. I love spinning a wheel on stream. There we go. There we go. Anyway, that was great. That was really good. I have nothing else to say. See you all tomorrow for some more Singapore. Goodbye.